Hello students, this is Coach Holliday, and today we are working on solving multi-step inequalities. This is a continuation of our last lesson on inequalities. Today we're going to solve them, and basically we're going to solve inequalities just like we solve equations, except for there's going to be one little difference. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing is we're going to do a little definition. Okay, it says when you multiply or divide both sides of an inequality by the same negative number, the same negative value, you must switch the inequality. Switch the inequality symbol. So if it was negative 3x is less than 9, to solve this, I do the same thing as if I were solving an equation. I'm going to have to divide both sides by negative 3. And since I divided by a negative, I'm going to have to flip the inequality. So it's going to be x is greater than 9 divided by negative 3 is negative 3. So that's when it happens, okay? Alright, so now that you've got that rule, let's go ahead and work a couple of examples. Make sure you're following along and you're writing these examples down in your notes as we go. Alright, so the first one is 12 plus 3a is greater than 18. So I'm going to draw my line, circle my variable, and I'm going to go ahead and start solving. The first thing I need to do is I need to zero out the 12. So I'll subtract 12 from both sides, or add a negative 12 to both sides. And those make 0. That leaves me with 3a is greater than 6. 18 minus 12 is 6. Now I didn't divide by a negative, I subtracted, but I didn't divide by a negative or multiply by a negative, so I keep the inequality the same. The last step is to divide both sides by 3. Now I'm dividing by a positive number, so I do not have to flip the inequality, so it's going to be a is greater than 2. Now to check this, let's pick a number that's greater than 2. The number that's greater than 2 would be 3. That would be greater than 2. 3 is greater than 2. So let's put 3 in place of our a. We have 12 plus 3 times 3 is greater than 18. So 12 plus 3 times 3 is 9. Is greater than 18. 12 plus 9 is 21. 21 is greater than 18. This is a true statement. So that means this is our solution. A is greater than 2. Now let's graph it. So I'll put in 0 on my number line. I'll put in 2 on my number line. Since the inequality does not have an equal in it, we're going to have to circle it with an open dot, the 2, and it's greater than 2. Numbers that are greater than 2 are 3, 4, 5, and such. So I'm going to shade to the right. And there's what my graph looks like. Okay, if you need a second to go back and copy all this down, go ahead and do that, and then pause the video, do that, and then we'll come back to this next example. Okay, let's look at this second example. It's t plus 5 all over negative 9 is greater than or equal to negative 3. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw my line, and I'm going to circle my variable. Now to clear out that fraction, in the denominator of this fraction, I'm going to multiply both sides by this negative 9, or negative 9 over 1. And what happens is the negative 9s will cancel. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 9 over 1. That leaves me with t plus 5. Now I multiplied both sides by a negative number, so I need to change my inequality. Instead of greater than or equal to, it's less than or equal to now. And this would be a positive 27. Negative 3 times negative 9 is positive 27. The last thing I do is I subtract 5 from each side, and I get t is less than or equal to 22. 27 minus 5 is 22. Alright, we can check this by substituting something that makes this true, And since t is less than or equal to 22, a number that's less than or equal to 22 is 0. I'm just going to plug 0. So I'm going to go 0 plus 5. You can use any number that's less than 22 over negative 9 is greater than negative 3. Now that's just 5 over negative 9, which is negative 5/9, is greater than negative 3. And this is a true statement. Negative 5/9 is between 0 and negative 1, and that's going to be greater than negative 3, so that works. So this is my solution. T is less than negative 22. The next thing is we'll graph it. So I'll put 0, I'll put 22, both on my graph. Since it's got the equal in it, I'm going to have to make a solid dot. Oops, let's use red here. So I'm going to make a solid dot. And numbers that are less than 22 are to the left on the number line. And I'm going to draw my arrow and shade it. Okay? Alright, make sure that you, if you have any questions on this, you go back, rewind it, and look back through those. Make sure you took thorough notes. And complete the WISC before you come to class. We'll see you then.